What's up, runners? Welcome to the Let's Run Fit podcast. I'm your host, B Lit. As a running coach, I realized how many runners really wanted to know how to make themselves better and they had no idea how to get there. So here I am to help out any athlete who wants to know more about the sport of running. From the lifelong runner to the brand new runner, there's always something to learn here on the Let's Run Fit podcast. So runners mark, let's go. Hey runners, and welcome to the Let's Run Fit podcast. I'm so happy that you're here and tuning in with me again today. Today we're being joined by Matt. He's an excellent runner of mine and a bright light on the team of my athletes, and I'm so proud to get to coach him every single day. Today, he is here to talk to us about how running has changed his life. So let's sprint right in, shall we? Hey Matthew, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I am wonderful. I am so happy that you're here with us because you are just fantastic. Like there's nothing about you that me or the team doesn't like. Like everything about you is just perfect, which is why I brought you on today. So are you ready?
Oh, yes, I am.
All right. I always like to start at the beginning and ask, what made you start running?
So exactly what made me start running is I ran for not most of my life, but when I started working out, when I started to want to get healthier and I wanted to be more presentable with my body and be more happy with myself, I started running, but I never ran correctly. Like I didn't know a single thing about running. My form was horrible. I sprinted like when I was going on easy runs now, I sprinted them. Like I did not know pacing at all. But it was until a certain someone told me to join cross country, and not naming names, but but you are a big reason why I started running.
So you started off like most people do, where it started off as kind of like a weight loss journey. And because we live in a country where most kids play sports and we're told that running is what you do when first off you did something wrong, which I think is a really big reason why the mindset of this country is off. But also we're told that we have to go as fast as we possibly can. Otherwise, we're not working hard enough. So you kind of had that same start that everybody else had, where easy running just feels wrong. You feel like you're doing something wrong because of that. But lucky for you, you had a really awesome person literally bug the crap out of you until you agreed to do it.
Yes, I did.
Not naming names.
No, not naming names. No, of course not.
So how would you describe your entire running journey up to this point?
It's been a blast. I'm so thankful and I'm so glad that I picked up both cross country and track. It's changed my life for the best way possible. I've met so many great people. I've learned so many things about running, and it's amazing, and it makes me happy. And in a way, it's a happy place. Running is a happy place for me.
It's my happy place too. So I'm really mad that it's actually raining on the day that we're recording this, because I have to go to my happy place on the treadmill, which is not nearly as happy as my happy place outside.
Yeah, I could agree with that.
That makes me really sad. Do you wish you had started running sooner in your life? Because you were 15 when you started running?
Yeah.
15?
Basically, whenever I started joining the team, like started running competitively, I guess you could say. But I was like 13 when I just like started running, but I didn't know anything back then.
Oh, none of us do. That's the problem. None of us were taught how to do this.
Yeah.
So how has the running journey changed your mindset on life? Because I knew you before you started running competitively. And I know you obviously now that you're on the team and you're absolutely killing it on the team every day. How has that changed just your overall mindset?
My mindset has changed in a big way, especially when I'm doing these events and running the meets. My mindset has changed for the best. I'm at a mindset where I'm not afraid to fail, because failing is a great lesson, because I take everything I've learned when I fail and I apply it to succeeding later in the future. I'm in a mindset of where I feel like I can't lose, but even if I do, it's another step to success.
What do we do on the team if someone does, as you call it, fail and not do what we are expecting them to do? Tell everybody what we do.
Well, we cheer them on no matter what. We bring them up. We always uplift people because there's no reason why we put people down or make them feel worse if they feel bad already. I feel like the only way for people to succeed or the only way to people to keep going and keep pushing is if you uplift that person and you support them.
Exactly. Matthew has heard me say this so many times, but as a coach, the only way I will ever be upset with you in a run is if you don't finish due to a problem with your mind. So, like if you get sick or you get injured, obviously, like don't hurt yourself. But if you stop because your mind told you to, that's the only time I'd ever be upset with you. Like, I can't imagine coaches who get mad when someone, doesn't come in first place because only one person can come in first.
Mm-hmm.
That's how it is. So you don't want to be mad at half of your team every single day. Like, because even on our team, not all of you can come in first place.
Nope.
And all of you can improve and get better. And like you said, we lift everybody up. There are so many hugs, there's so many smiles. And I'm that way with all teams, all athletes that I coach because everybody is freaking amazing. It's how
Agreed.
we are.
Oh yeah.
So I know before you started running, you worked at a fast food joint. We're not going to name which one. Just,
Mm-hmm.
they're not paying us. So,
Yeah.
you worked at a fast food joint and you ate a lot of, we're going to call it just unhealthy food. I could go
Mm,
on a whole
for
rant
sure.
about most fast food, places in this country.
Yeah, yeah.
So just unhealthy food. So how did running help change your mindset around food and nutrition as well?
Well, comparing to how my diet was before then, like my diet was it was very unhealthy. Like I did not know a thing about eating healthy at all. But whenever I started to, and I started eating more healthy, more correctly, balancing my food and eating like small portions, not like overfeeding myself, it made me feel more happy. It made me feel more free, especially whenever I was doing workouts. I was able to last longer. I was able to keep going, and it changed it changed my mindset to the where I was like, it may be bad that I can't enjoy some of the foods that I used to, but eating better now, it's been a reliever.
Yeah, and you still eat some things in moderation. I've straight watched you
Of
eat
course.
cookies,
Of
but
course. Of course, yeah.
we're all
But
about some of those peach rings on our team. So
yeah,
we love the peach rings, but we do it in moderation. Now that
exactly.
you've switched into the healthier food, do you feel like you have more energy with your day to day life?
Yes. Oh, yes, of course.
See, that's what people don't think. They're like, oh, if I cut out the sugar, I'm not going to survive. It's like, but you will. You'll feel so
Yeah,
much
yeah,
better.
you will. And it's not that you have to cut it off completely.
Yeah,
You
we
just
still eat
take
them peach
just
rings.
exactly like you just gotta cut it down just a little bit. And yes, you'll be sacrificing a little bit, but it's going to help you in the long run.
And you just feel so much better. I know your
Exactly.
cardio health has improved so much because obviously
Oh
I was
yeah.
there on your very first day, on your very first race, where we threw you
Hmm.
to the wolves and we're like, all right, we're going to let him do this. And then we're going to teach him to pace afterwards. So he understands the lesson, which I hate doing
Hmm.
that to people, but it is effective.
It was
You
effective
believe
for me,
us
of
more.
course.
You believe us more if we let you
Oh
do it
yeah.
your way one time. And
Hmm.
so I know your cardio health has improved so much. Like you took off your 5K time, I think over 5 minutes that first season.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it might have even been more than that. Like it was a huge improvement. I know it was a 3 minute improvement just from your first two races, just by me teaching you how to pace afterwards. Do you
Oh
feel like
yeah.
this extra energy and extra cardio health helps you do things in your everyday life that you couldn't do before you had this running and healthy mindset and fitness?
For sure, definitely. Just like even like going out, like let's say I took walks around with my friends or with my family, I would always like tire myself out a lot and have to sit down, and it just wasn't me. It's not it wasn't me at all. But and like even going to the like being happy with my body, like the weight loss that I had from being more healthier, eating healthier, working out more, it made me happier with myself.
And you were definitely not a kid that someone would have called overweight either. Like, people
No.
think that just because, you're quote unquote skinny, that you don't have those issues where like if you go hiking with your friends, like they just assume you don't have that issue where you're out of breath and dying.
Hmm.
You know, a lot of people think that that is more reserved for people who are unfortunately, you know, more overweight. And you weren't
Hmm.
like that, but you still had that huge improvement just
Hmm.
by actually getting your body out there and moving. And I wish more people understood that what you see on the outside does not represent what's on the inside. Like
Exactly.
so many people, because there can be people who are larger in body mass that can kick
Hmm.
my butt in a marathon and a half marathon. Like, you know, I am not an overweight person by any means. And I have seen people who weigh a good 50, 70 pounds more than me fly by me in a half
Hmm.
marathon. And I'm just like,
Yeah.
you go, girl, go, you know, and you're just so like, it's not a definition of health at all. And I would say you were a good, you know, representation of the opposite side. Like, you were probably what a lot of people would dream to have been, but you were still able to improve upon yourself inside and out, which is so amazing.
Yes, yes, of course.
With your running, do you feel like it's a type of therapy? I say type of therapy because obviously nothing can actually replace therapy. I think everyone in the
Yeah.
world should have therapy.
Yeah, yeah,
Everyone's heard that quote. World would be a happier place if everyone had a therapist. But do you feel like running is a
yeah.
type of therapy for you and helps make you feel calmer in your day-to-day life?
Oh, for sure. Now that I've picked it up and I've learned more and I've like started running more competitively, I really would say it becomes a type of therapy for me. Just feeling the wind in my face
I
and
love that.
the air like makes me I imagine myself just running on air, like just going straight forward. And it keeps me at peace. Because like even like for example, if I'm going on an easy run, it's a beautiful day outside. I take in the environment, I take in the scenery, I breathe in the air, and I just gaze. I just find myself getting lost in the beauty of the outside.
I do. That's why I like outside running better than treadmill running. Like treadmills, they've got their time and their place, but outside, I just feel like absorbing nature just it calms me so much. And I can tell the
For
difference
sure.
between run days and non-run days.
Hmm.
Like I haven't gotten as much running during track season just because, you know, track meets take a really long time. So
Oh yeah.
I haven't had the time and everything, but oh, I can tell the difference in my energy levels. Not running actually makes me more tired.
Hmm.
I
I could
sleep
say so.
worse, my energy's worse. Like I hate to say it, but I'm almost happy track is over for a little while so I can get back to my running and get back to those energy levels that I
Oh
had when
yeah.
you met me. When you first met me and I was running every single day, oh, it was so much better. It was so much better.
Oh, I bet. I bet.
Because again, it's a type of therapy. It calms you down and it keeps your nervous system there and just
Hmm.
it gives you a release of those negative stress hormones because you stress your body in a healthy way and then you go on
Yeah.
the opposite side when your body is calming down and it gets rid of some of those stressors that come from, you know, I don't want to say stupid things, but stupid things that aren't actually stressors that our body just can't figure out isn't going to kill us, like a
Yeah.
big test or interview or whatever it is that's coming up and our body thinks we're about to be murdered.
Yeah.
Our bodies can't figure out we're not in caves anymore. Oh,
Oh, well, thankfully we're not.
right.
But I feel like that you don't even have to go for a run just to like experience that. Going on for a walk is like even probably even better because you take in even more of the scenery
Yes.
and
And
you
then you don't have to
just feel
focus on
more at
breathing.
peace. Yeah, exactly.
I love it. Just being outside makes me happy. I'll just sit outside some days. If it's like raining like today, I will sit outside as much as I can.
For
Like that's where
sure.
I'm headed as soon as we're done with this. Going back to our running. So, as your coach, I know that I set some workouts that are a bit more mentally difficult than physically difficult. Michigan. I don't know which workout we're talking about that you complain about all the time. So, how do you think
I
these
wonder.
mental workouts, like the Michigan, geez, I don't know why I keep coughing like that, right? How do you think those workouts help you power through the difficult parts in your everyday life?
Well, if I feel like I can finish in Michigan, I feel like I can do anything in the world. Like I feel like pushing myself mentally through like just keep on going, keep on running, keep on moving your feet. Don't think about your feet. Think about your just think about your eyes. Think about something else. So I just keep pushing forward. And the Michigan is by far like the worst possible thing I could ever run. I hate running every single day. Well, I hate running it in general, but I feel like it's beneficial because it works on my mindset a lot. Because if I feel like if I can do this, then the meet's gonna be easy.
Oh yeah. And I don't know a single person who likes running the Michigan. And for those who don't know what a Michigan is, it is actually more of a mental workout than a physical workout. So you actually go on and off of a track. So you go and run a magic mile, so 1 mile as fast as you can, trying to PR your time trial. And then you come off the track and somewhere out in the roads or around a building or wherever you're at, you run 1 mile easy, which sounds like, oh, easy running. That's great. And then you go back to the track and you do 3 laps, so a 1200. And then you come off and do another easy mile. And then you go back to the track and you do an 800 magic, like 800, come back off, do another easy mile. And then you go back and do a 400. And you would think because most of it is easy mileage that it would be so easy, but that switching transition from on the track, going hard as you can and, powering through and coming off the track and doing that easy running, it really messes with your mind because you can't get into a mindset like on speed work days, you're on speed work. On easy run days, you're on easy run. And because it keeps switching, it starts to trigger things in your mind and gets your mind and that, what Jeff Galloway and them calls your monkey brain to tell you to stop. It's like, this is ridiculous. You need to stop. So I always do the Michigan because it helps with that mental mindset of if, like, Matt said, if you can get through this, you can do that race. If you can do the Michigan and you can get your mind to realize that the Michigan is possible, that 3.1 mile race, that's nothing. You get to go one pace and you get to set your mindset. You don't have to switch gears. And then if you can do the Michigan, you can go do that 1 mile on the track or whatever race. You did a lot of 1 miles and 2 miles and 800s and everything else, but you were able to do it because you were able to do that Michigan.
Yeah.
I know you hate the Michigan, like I said, like every other runner in the world. I know the actual high school record holder. I think it's the US record holder. I don't think he's world record. He might be, but at the high school age, he even does the Michigans and will post on Strava and be like, I hate this workout. My least favorite workout. No one likes the Michigan. I even hate the Michigan, but I know how important it is to have that mental mindset. So what workouts do you like to do? What is your favorite workout day? Like if you could just come and say on my training schedule, I'm going to have this workout most often, which one would you want on there?
By far easy runs. Because again, like going back to how running is a type of therapy for me, it's just taking in the environment and just going for a little run, just not to the point where I'm going at a good pace and I'm not dying while I'm going at that pace. I'm just breathing it in, taking in the scene, and it's just relaxing to me. So easy runs are by far my favorite.
I like easies too. I love easy long run because I still get to have that easy stuff that you just talked about, but then I'm also going really far. So I just feel super accomplished at the end, but also super calm.
Oh yeah.
Like tell me to go run for 2 hours easy. And I'm like, yes, I got this. I don't know why. I'm a weirdo that way, but that's just me. It's what we do. So you mentioned earlier about the friendships you formed with running. How has this changed the social aspects of your life? Because I know you knew a couple of the runners on the team when we first recruited you and got you going, but you didn't know most of them. So how did that kind of really change just your social mindset?
Honestly, it changed for the absolute best. I put myself out there more. I'm more open and I'm more enthusiastic, I guess you could say, because I want to make sure that now that I've got to know everyone that is on the team, I want to make sure that they know how amazing they are. I want to make sure they know that I'm going to be here to support them no matter what it is. And whether it's like on the track problems or off the track problems, I want them to know that I would be their shoulder that they can lean on.
And you really are. We get the best pre-race pep talks from Matt. Like he can give us the most inspirational information. Like I can't even do it. I'm the coach and I can't even come close to the kind of pep talks that he can give. And then our post race, like, hey, we're proud of you. Again, the way you word things and how you can just highlight everyone's triumphs in one message is just, it's amazing. You need to be a motivational speaker one day, like 100%. Like we all say that because we know that Matthew is our number one fan. Like
Hmm.
no one has to guess. And any meet that you missed, like we physically felt the difference. Like it wasn't the same. And I'm going to tell a story on him real quick. I had a bunch of kids running their first ever 3,200, which is a 2 mile on the track. It's 8 laps. It's a very mentally difficult race because you have nothing new to look at. You're just going in a circle. That's just all it is. Matthew started up a
Oh
band.
no.
He started up a band. He got two other guys to sit there with their cell phone, and the entire time they belted out Eye of the Tiger without pausing. So every single one of those runners had something to look forward to on every lap. He literally sang for 15 minutes the same song on repeat. Like I said, he recruited two others to make it a little bit louder. And I have a video. It's the best video. I love watching it when I get sad. He literally found a way to make the 2 mile not as mentally difficult for these guys who just ran it for the first time ever. Because I think we combined boys and girls that night, and of all of the
Oh
runners I
yeah,
had on
yeah,
the
yeah,
track, every single one, it was their first time except for one guy. So we
yeah.
had Eye of the Tiger. Like, that's the kind of person you are. Like, your social way you relate with us is just absolutely fantastic. Like, I love telling people that story of this is what my team does. Like, my team sings for each other. We have a band.
Yeah, for sure. I feel like there's not a chance at all that I would not support anyone that is running their event or running their race. There's not a way or a chance that I'm going to let no one support them or no one cheer for them because I will be the first one to do it if I have to be. And I will follow you. I will follow you. I'll make sure you know that I'm right here supporting you and I'm going to cheer you on no matter what.
You do. You are our biggest cheerleader. I'm not going to lie. Any race, if you're not running it physically, you're on that sideline cheering. Like you never disappear. We never have to look for you. You're right there, as close to the finish line as you can get, just screaming your head off or singing your head off, depending on the night.
Oh
Like
yeah. Oh
you're
yeah.
always right there. Do you think that you have lifelong friendships that you have built out of running?
Oh, with the track team and even the upcoming cross country team that we're going to be having now. I can't wait to meet everyone. And I would say, yes, I have, because I would love to keep in touch with everyone I've met on the team.
I know our team is amazing. Like you can't love us. I'm not gonna lie. I haven't met a runner yet that I don't love. Like we're amazing no matter age, level, everything. Like everyone in the running community is just so happy. That's why I want everybody to be a runner, not because I think everybody is going to go be an elite runner and win everything, but it's because being part of our community, it's not something you can replicate elsewhere.
Hmm. For
Like
sure.
you don't know someone till you've run a Michigan with them.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
You don't know. So with your future, do you think you're going to be running long into the future or just while you're on this team? Like, do you think you're going to go solo and just keep on running for the rest of your life?
If it comes down to it, I haven't really thought that far, but at the moment, I'd say yes, because running has changed my life. And you don't really forget that change. And I'm going to keep applying this to others and keep applying it to myself. And I feel like running is going to be sticking with me like through years and years and years.
It will. It follows you. It does. Because the great thing about running, like if you played soccer in high school or football, if you don't get picked up by a college team, you really never truly get to play again because they don't have adult leagues. They have adult kickball here and there. And then eventually you can age your way into pickleball. But
Hmm.
like you don't have a way to continue your sport. But with running, you have local races all over the world. You
Hmm.
can always keep running.
Yeah.
And that's actually how I got back into running was because I needed a sport that I could do because I was getting antsy and I was doing really weird things in the name of fitness and I needed something and I started to run and I never looked
Yeah.
back. And I know it's just
Oh,
going to be a part of me.
for
At the
sure.
moment, you've never run past a 5K that I know of besides in training.
Nope. No, I have
All right.
not.
So you,
5K.
I was making sure. I'm like, I didn't know if you had snuck a 10K in on me. Do you think
No,
you
no.
will ever run past a 5K? Will you start doing local races and do a 10K or a half marathon one day?
One day, for sure, one day. And I'm always the type to try everything at least once. So running a 10K, running a half marathon, even running a full marathon, maybe even if I get to that point, I would love to at least run one. Because I would love to push the limit to over what I think I can do. Because at the moment I've only done a 5K, but I think I could definitely do more than a 5K.
I think you can. I think everyone should be able to do a half marathon. If you've done a couple 5Ks, you should do a half marathon at least once. I told myself I was
Mhm.
only doing one, and here I am, 7 half marathons later.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be a good
Another one on the
experience to have.
schedule.
Oh, well, that makes another one.
I just
Like I
keep I
said,
keep adding them to my schedule. They're my favorite distance.
half marathons.
I love half marathons because they're the closest thing to an easy run you can get in a race situation. You're running harder than easy, but you're not running so hard that you don't get to look around you. Like in a 5K, you're dying from the beginning, is what I always say. Like you go out hard and you stay hard, you're out of breath, your heart rate's elevated the whole time. In a half
Yeah,
marathon, you've got to go at least 10 miles where your heart rate's
yeah,
in zone 3. So it's a lot lower. It's a good like 30 beats lower than how you finish the race. So you get to enjoy it. Like I love going to especially half marathons around the country where I get to go and see things I've never gotten to see. And
yeah.
I'll just straight slow down sometimes. If it's beautiful enough, I will slow down and just look around and enjoy the scenery. And I only feel like I'm dying on that last mile. Because I personally choose to not pick it up until about that last mile, mile and a half, because I
Yeah,
want to see everything. And then I sprint it in because of who I am as a person. But
yeah,
it's just amazing. So that's why I think you'll love a half marathon.
yeah. Well, like I said, at least once I would love to, and if it comes down to it, I'll do even more if I have to. If I
I'll get
really
you there.
enjoy it that much, I'll do it even more. I would love to.
You love it. And the medals are a lot bigger.
Oh yes,
Half marathons, they give you these massive medals. I have one that's over, it's like a 6x3. I have another one that's like 7 inches long. Like they're huge, but they're an
yeah.
accomplishment. Like the marathon
I'd say
ones get
so.
even bigger than that.
I would say so, definitely. And I'd love to have that experience, and I'd love to breathe, take that in once in a while.
I love it. So, what do you think your future has in store? I know you said you think you're going to be running and you want to try other races once. What else do you think your future has in store for you?
Honestly, I think the future's looking very bright, despite everything that I have gone through and have done. Um, I push myself every single day. I'm always pushing the boundaries, always pushing the limit, because I feel like there's not a point where I want to just stay in my comfort zone. I want to be above my comfort zone. I want to expand. I want to explore. And I feel like the sky's the limit, to be honest. The sky's the limit.
It is. And I know you can do anything that you possibly could think of. Do you have any races on your schedule? Are you doing any races this summer?
Honestly, I would love to. And I'm hoping I can. And I'm going to try my best to have at least some races under my belt before we start that cross country season.
Well, you got till August. So you got this.
I can't wait.
It's gonna be fun. Your future's bright, Matt. We know it. We all know it. Not just your coach. I'm biased, but I'm supposed to be.
Well, I feel like everyone's future can be bright, but I feel like you just have to be willing to take the hits, take anything that is thrown at you. If you can keep pushing, and if life is one of the hardest games you'll ever play, to be honest, it's always going to have trials and errors. It's always going to have complications, no matter what. It's never going to be really easy. But I feel like anybody can do it as long as you put your mind to it.
Well, my last question of the night. What advice would you give someone who's wanting to start running, especially someone who's feeling like they need a big change in their life, whether for nutrition purposes or health purposes, or just, they just need a change? What advice would you give them when they're first getting started?
Some advice. I'd say get into the right mental state, get into the right mentality. You have to think that you may not feel it, but you have to think that you're like the best in the world, because you can't if you don't think positive about yourself, then all the negatives are just going to come crashing into you and come crashing towards you. So I feel like running is a lot and solely based on the mental game.
I agree. You've got this. Alrighty, guys. Well, that is our call with Matt. Again, a runner who's absolutely fantastic. His mindset's wonderful. His personality is wonderful. We love him so freaking much. Like, there's just, like I said before, nothing about him that we complain about except for when he just happens to not be there. Like, the only thing that we have to complain, but he is here. And if he can do it, so can you. So go out there, do the thing, start the hard things, and you'll be amazed at how much easier it gets. Thanks so much, runners, for spending time with me and listening to this episode. If you like what you heard, please hit that subscribe button and leave me a review. I always love to hear from my listeners. And if you want more Let's Run Fit in your life, find me on Instagram at Let's Run Fit with BLit. Until next time, runners! The information in this podcast is not intended to be a substitute for medical or professional advice. Please always consult a medical professional if you're seeking medical advice, diagnosis, or treatment. The Let's Run Fit podcast is not liable for risk or issues associated with using or acting upon the information in this podcast.